Dearest listeners,
Book babes and book bros. Welcome to
welcome to
Book
Book
Babble.
Babble. We're Rachel,
And Tonya, aka the Witlit Women, and your host for the day.
and today we have Shea Green in the hot seat for a rapid fire Ask Me Anything session. So, Shea, why don't you quickly introduce yourself?
Hi guys. I know if you're following me on Instagram, you've probably only seen my profile pic, which was illustrated. But this is me in the flesh. Shea Green is actually a pen name, which is a combination of some of my letters of my full name, and then green is actually my favorite color. So that's a little tidbit for you guys.
Oh, cool.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm originally from Philly, which is why all of my books currently and honestly for the future will probably be from Philly. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here and kind of let you guys into my world a little bit.
Well, we're excited to have you. Alrighty, so I'm gonna put 5 minutes on the clock. Are you ready to babble?
Let's go.
All right.
All right. So, how much research goes into your writing, and what are your favorite research methods?
Um, so I'll be honest, I kind of set myself up a little bit with this book with like the tech-based stuff and some of the stuff that comes into play with like the FBI and stuff like that. So honestly, YouTube has been my best friend for quite some time. I've read some other books, but for the most part, YouTube and kind of listening to the feedback from people who have actually been in those worlds has really been the biggest savior so far.
Awesome. So, are there any hidden Easter eggs that readers might have missed or that they just didn't notice in your books?
So I wouldn't necessarily say it was hidden, but I know I'm a huge anime fan. So for my anime girlies, the inclusion of those topics in the Naruto show was very deliberate. Having Antonio and Alex kind of discuss the two main characters in that show, and having the comparison kind of align with what they viewed and why each of them kind of picked someone else that they were um, for lack of a better term, like more alike,
Mhm.
was very deliberate. So if you watch the show, you would definitely know, like, oh, okay, they're very similar to those characters. So I know that not all romance girlies are anime girlies, but I merged the two worlds there.
I actually remember telling Rachel about that, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to read these now."
Huge Naruto fan.
Nice,
Um,
that's so cool.
I'm also a big fan of tropes. I'm just a trope girl. So, what is your favorite trope to read versus write?
My favorite trope to read is probably Second Chance. I think that there's just something about the groveling and like the growth that happens. Like it didn't work out the first time, but there's something that happened in between the years or months or however long those that couple has been apart that they come back and they because character development for me in general is just like a big thing. So being able to kind of see how that changes over time is one of the coolest aspects about love. I would say for writing, my favorite trope is probably childhood, like either friends to lovers or childhood friends to lovers, something along that lines. And I didn't actually realize this until I'd started outlining a couple future books. And so the next three are actually in some way kind of feature that. And I was like, oh, do I have a type? So, yeah.
I love that.
Yes. So, okay, how did you come up with the characters' names?
Well, my real first name starts with an A. And so originally it was just kind of poetic. Alex and Antonio felt a little bit poetic to me.
Mhm.
Um, and as I started to kind of grow in myself as an author, I tend to use names that are based on people that have been influential to me. So like teachers and relatives, really good friends that I had. But yeah, for Alex and Antonio, that's where that came from.
I love that.
Yes, I do too. I do. I get all like nerdy about those kind of synchronicities. So,
Mhm.
out of everything you've written, what is your favorite chapter and scene and why?
I don't specifically have a favorite chapter, but I will say that anytime Antonio is like professing his love for Alex has just been my favorite. Like when he calls her the universe, and then in book 2 when he's professing his love, and he's just like, and you know that that's a very big deal for him because he's like, this is just not me. So to know that someone kind of pulled that out of him, and it just goes to show like that a testament to how amazing Alex was and how he felt comfortable that way.
It was glorious. Those scenes, amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
All right, let's try to fit one more in. What scene was like the most painful for you to cut out because it just didn't fit or didn't work?
I wouldn't say that that happened in any of the first 2 books, but in book 3, there's a scene that I was like, okay, you know, this isn't just, and I don't want to spoil it for the people, but I probably will end up putting it out as a bonus chapter at some point. But yeah, for the sake of book 3, which I know people have been anticipating, they're like, what is going to happen? I'm like, okay, give the people what they want, and then we'll use that as a, you know, just a little present.
Yeah, those cliffhangers, girl, you get us every time. Every time. All right, so we're at 7 seconds. Do we want to try to? Never mind. It's out now. Never mind. So time ran out.
Very dramatic timer.
That was very dramatic. I thought I changed that, but that was a fun little
Just so you
thing.
know, time is up.
So we have a couple of minutes left over after the AMA that we can just chit chat. I'd love to hear more about the. You said you were working on some new projects. Do you have anything that you can tell us about those?
Yeah, so there was a character, Kaya, that was featured. She's technically been featured in all the books, but in book 3, she'll become a little bit more prominent. And so she's kind of the opposite of Alex, whereas the person that she was in a relationship with, she, again, this is, you know, childhood friends to lovers. They were high school sweethearts. They kind of had to separate. So in book 3, we'll learn a little bit more about why that happened. And then that one's only going to be 1 book. So I'm excited to kind of, it'll also be in first person. So I'm excited to kind of shift and, you know, let people see a little bit different side of my writing.
So exciting. Yay. I can't wait for that.
This is probably a weird, maybe not a weird question, but kind of like surface level, but I just love the covers of your books. Like, how did you determine that was going to be kind of what represented your books? Because they're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Well, shout out to Rachel Chrisley of Chrisley Creatives. She is my book designer. I learned that it was very important to kind of know what you wanted when you were working with a designer, which I didn't necessarily. Honestly, I was like a little bit naive. I was like, can you turn this into this? Right. And so when I actually had to reread my books, and I was like, okay, where do you want to go with this, girl? And of course, the sunflowers, Alex, you know, being sunshine and being the sun to Antonia was like a huge kind of motif over the course of the books. And I was like, let's go with that. And so I'm excited for you guys to see the cover of book 3. Rachel's working on that currently. But ideally the progression, there's supposed to be a progression from book 1, which is like a sunset kind of vibe. Book 2 is like a midnight kind of vibe. And then book 3 will be what comes after midnight. So I'm so excited for you guys to see that, and then just kind of see all 3 books kind of together, and see that progressiveness. So
I love that. It's going to be like their new beginning.
yes.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited.
You know what else I really loved was on your birthday giving out the books on Kindle, like as a birthday gift to your fans. That was just beautiful. Like there's a beautiful moment for your soul. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm blessed for writing to be like an addition to my life, like something that just makes me happy. You know, like I have a full-time job elsewhere, but it's just something that really gives me joy. And to just kind of, you know, have my name put out there and have people kind of experience the same kind of happiness in reading about these 2 characters that fall in love. So I know sometimes people are more deliberate about what days they put their story out for free, but I was just really happy to kind of put myself out there that way. Yeah.
It was really cool being able, I think, to share indie authors that way and say, hey guys, get a taste of this amazing story and this wonderful writing. I know we were able to share it like in some of our book communities, and people were really excited about it. So it was really cool to watch that happen.
Yeah, you guys have been so awesome. I mean, I honestly, when I first started out doing this, I had no expectations. Like I said, I had turned 30 and I was like, you need to do this. Like, life is too short. Like, I remember just feeling like imposter syndrome, like this is not your world. There are people that have gone to school to be writers, and like that's not me. So I can't tell you guys how many times I've just kind of been like, ugh, you know. And I know one of your, even though we were past the AMA section, but I know one of the questions was like advice that you had for aspiring authors. And one of that is just to kind of remember the quote that comparison is the thief of joy. Because there are so many times where I'm logging on to Instagram, I'm looking at Goodreads, and I'm seeing what I would hope to see for myself, in terms of like numbers and the outreach and growth. But then, I mean, if you love what you do, then it will never be a waste of time. So
I love that.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I think when Rachel and I first started doing our Bookstagram, I said, I'm not really here about exactly the numbers. I just want to help the indie authors get seen.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped a lot with not focusing too much on like how small we are in comparison to other pages at this point in time. I mean, we are rapidly growing, but it's just the passion and, the desire behind wanting to help authors. And that just kind of like correlates with your desire to write, your passion to write. So I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah, you guys have exposed me to a lot of new indie authors. So I'm so happy. Honestly, I've been learning like this is where it's at. Don't get me wrong, not for nothing with the amazing authors who have gone through the process of having agents and going the traditional route. But like this community of indie authors supporting indie authors, of indie, social media content creators, just supporting everyone else. Like this is how we grow. You know what I mean? So yeah, I appreciate
absolutely.
you guys so much.
Well, we appreciate you putting out great books. Like, keep it going. We love it.
You.
Yes, yours actually, Tonya was one of the first indie authors Tonya read last year, I think. And so she just raved about it so much. It was the cutest thing. I loved it. And so yeah, now I own your stuff. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we are just about out of time. Is there anything, any last, questions, comments that we want to get in here?
Not that I can think of. I'm so excited to see this out there, to see the future authors that you guys interview. I want you guys to keep up the amazing work because, like I said, I know that you guys are rapidly growing. So I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Thank you so much. And thank you for taking time out of your day to join us today.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thanks for being our first.
Having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you. My first indie author and my first indie author interview. So symmetry. All right. Well, bye. It was great seeing you.
It's good to meet you. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.